like shares, I guess I would say. Is that what we call it? Is that what we call ourselves? Sideline? Are you my sideline, Grant?
Yeah, I just saw on your sideline.
We're not really kin in the business, but that's okay. Um, so you guys utilize the chat because I really like to I don't like to like talk at people so much. Like I like to kind of interact and like have it be a two-way conversation. So, and it really helps me kind of like move things along too, because sometimes I can get like in my head and just go off on tangents. And I do have my notes here, just a couple things that I can go over with you guys. But so like Grant said, my name's Megs. I've been doing the business a really long time. I am not a team elite. I'm not a millionaire. And I always say that it's not because it's not what I want, because I absolutely want that. But I've learned that a lot of people assume that of me. And it's
Oh wait,
great.
you four-star platinum team elite. Come
I know. Like, and I just guess I put that out there because honestly, so here's some of the battles that have had to push through, just being totally transparent with you guys, is that when I have used to present a lot at Nu Skin, I actually asked them, like, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to be on stage anymore at the company. I told Kathy, like, take me down. So I would get it would people come up to me and be like, oh, you're a team elite, right? And I'd be like, well, no. And they'd be like, well, how come? And if that is not the worst feeling, like it, or it used to be, now I just don't even care. For me to feel like, wow, why aren't I? You know, and I just say that because, and I don't know where anyone is on this call in terms of your rank. I don't think it matters, honestly, until and I don't even care to be on that stage until, at the very tippity top. But I just say all that because like this business is such ebb and flow, and I think that is so important to come into it with like no judgment and like just to honor people where they are. And I have had so many team elites ask me to help train their teams because I've come to learn that a lot of them don't even know what the heck they're doing. And that goes to show you that like there's so many different ways to build a business. I mean, Dan McCormick calls me a lot of time. He's like, Megs, how do I do this? What do I do about? I don't even know. And I'm like, Dan, you're a $20 million plus earner. Why are you asking me? And he was like, I mean, because you're smart at this. So, we all have our gifts and we all have our strengths, and we all like are able to teach so many different dynamics of the business. But my highest pin title is diamond, and I'm not there right now. So, but I know that, in this process, we have to become masterful. And that's how I see this business, is like becoming a master of whatever it is. Right. So whatever you were before this, you were probably really good at it. And that was only because you started somewhere at the bottom where we all start to get to that place, right? To be like our most like our most successful self, or our most magnetic self, so that we can attract all the things that we want. So before Nu Skin, really quickly, I was in the bar industry. I've owned a bar. I did 10 years in the restaurant industry, fine dining, beach clubs, Vegas. I lived there 7 years. And like I was a master. I became a master at like relationships and letting people talk and letting, complimenting and listening and learning and, just understanding people, just becoming kind of a sponge of all different types of personalities. And Lord knows when you're in that type of industry, like you have to be compassionate. You have to learn how to like, just step back and let them talk their talk, and 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 be a soundboard for people. So that's kind of what I did. That's how I look at that now. Like how, because everything that we do before this, like translates somehow into Nu Skin, whatever job it was that you had prior, right? So for me, it was service industry, um, introducing, high-end wines or cognacs or cigars, or making people feel like they're so special, right? Which, that's what you do when you want the big tip, okay? So same thing with this, except I feel with this, it's way more authentic. because I didn't really love doing that. I like creating experiences for people, but at the end of the night, what was I really doing with purpose? Getting people drunk for a living is not purposeful. It didn't fulfill me. So with that being said, like spending 7 years in Vegas, coming to this place of finding Nu Skin, it found me. I was like, okay, I need to get like really, really good at so many things. And you guys have probably heard that saying, like knowledge on ice and ignorance on fire. I was absolutely knowledge on ice for a long time because my background being engineering in school, science, I went to nutrition school after that, neuromuscular therapy school. I was like this overeducated bartender. Okay. I wanted to know everything. Dr. Chang, sit down with me, talk to me about all the science. I need to go to this seminar and that seminar, and I want to work this event, and I want to shadow this person, and I want to go to all the conventions and just learn and write. And I didn't do anything, right? But I was so good at sales. Well, behind a bar, I was. And, anything else, honestly, I thought. So with this, like being masterful, like in my mind, I'm like, I have to be masterful, but I have to know everything. So whether that's like product knowledge or relationship building or public speaking, do you have to be good at that? And social media, follow up, sales, recruiting, leadership comes with all the other things, events, all of these things like overlap, right? Like they all come together. They all, there's a lot of crossover. So when people say, oh, I'm not really good at sales, I'm like, well, do you like people? And if the answer is no, obviously they're not my person. Okay. But we all have to build relationships every day, regardless of what we do. And so what is it first that I wanted to become a master at? What do you want to become a master at? So I want to ask you guys, like, what do you think is like your strong suit right now? Like, what do you think in this business that you're like, I am so freaking good at product knowledge. I know every product. Anybody can ask me any question about anything and I know how to answer it. No problem. Or is it social media? Do you feel like you're just like a badass at social media? Anything that you do, you show up good, you know how to post every day, you know how to craft content, you know how to, do the reels and, connect with people in the DMs, you know how to sell stories without being salesy, right? Like, is that something? Like, you guys let me know, like, what do you feel like you are crushing at right now? What's your like strong suit? Do you feel like you're a good leader? Do you feel like people want to follow you? Do you feel like you are great at events, So let me know in the comments. So for me, like with events, right? I don't know how many of you are offline and online. Like if you want to tell me, that would be really helpful. But for events, like living in Vegas, I had access to all the most amazing events, you guys. Like all the eye care shows, the dental shows, the A4Ms, all the anti-aging shows, BeautyCon, everything, Vision Expo, everything. And I did them. And bless Russ Carlin that let me, the only one not on his team, but I stored their tables in my garage in Vegas. So I got to do the event for free. Okay. $1,000. I didn't have to pay, but I knew that if I got in front of people, I could close them. So if you get it really excited about events, I always say, people want to come in and work the events. Okay, well, what do you need for that with sales, right? Like, you've got this device. We know we know what this device is. What do you do in person? So we'll talk a little bit about like offline, right? So like in person. So you guys are saying, I love doing spa parties. Okay. So you're obviously good at being around people. You love to talk to people face to face, both online, offline, closing and recruiting. I need more leadership skills with my team, how to sell on social media without being salesy. Okay, cool. So like, let's just talk about in person. So we all have a LumiSpa, right? I would assume by now, hopefully, if you don't, get one. This device, we know what it is. We know what it does, right? But when you get someone in person, say at the spa party, or even let's say when I do the A4M show, we've got these events. Some people have scanners, some people have galvanic spas. I have all of it. Standing there and somebody comes up to you, how are we selling them? What are we saying? Compliment first. Always, always compliment first. Girl, I've been waiting for you to come over here. Come over here. What's your name? Amanda. Hey, Amanda, girl, you are rocking that jacket. I'm loving this whole look. What's going on? What are you here at the event for? What are you most excited about? Tell me all about you. What's up? Well, what's that thing you got? This happens all the time. What is, because you're always holding it. You're always holding it. Guys, I take this on the airplane. I have it in my purse. I don't care where I am. I will pull this sucker out and I will start talking about it because it is a conversation piece. Okay. So what is that thing? Well, I mean, look, I could tell you all about it. It's the number one cleansing device in the world right now, but why don't you just just give me 2 minutes, and while I'm giving you this demonstration, I'll talk about it. Okay? Because by the time I tell you all about it, you would have already had your demo. You know what I mean? Like 2 minutes is all it's going to take. So just get it on them. And if she's like, I don't know. Okay, well, maybe, I don't know. Like some people wrestle with it back and forth. You know why? Because they think you're going to mess up their makeup. So a spa party is a little bit different, right? Because like they're already like they're ready to come, get the pampering. But when you're at like a really professional event, it's a little bit harder. So I'm like, hey, look, we're in Vegas, right? You want to make a bet? How about I'll bet you, I'll do half your face. You can do your hand if you want to, but I'm just going to tell you, I'll do half your face. And if this half looks better than the half with the makeup on, like if it doesn't, I'll buy you to the device. Because I will guarantee you, I will bet you right now, I do half your face. It's going to look better than the side that you have makeup on. Free device, $200. What do you think? 250. Okay. Always got them. Always. And guess what? It always worked because that side of the face is always, you guys know, it glows when you do the LumiSpa, right? So just find a way to get it on them. I've done them on airplanes. I mean, seriously, like where airplanes, not the face. I've never done a face on airplane, but I have done the backs of hands. Okay. And then the follow-up. Okay. This is how I follow up now. And I'm not going to tell you how I did back then because it was really silly, but because we didn't have all these little tools, but I want to share this tool with you guys. And if you're not using it, please use it. And you can get with me if it doesn't make any sense. But who in here is using boards? Is anyone using boards with your teams? Like raise your hand. Everybody? Okay, cool. Are any of you guys using boards for follow-up and for business inquiry? No? Okay. So when you have events, okay, you guys do events. What does that say? Okay, cool. I'm checking. There's all these little things popping up on the screen. I'm not familiar with them. When you have events, you typically have, flyers and cards and whatever. And don't do that anymore. Okay. We don't even need to waste all the paper. Let's get the board. And if you guys are activating your pro account, you can use, I can show you how to create a card for business inquiry. And so before that person leaves, after you do the demo, wherever it is that you're doing it, make sure that you send that link to them and have them fill it out right there. Because as soon as they fill it out, it takes them 30 seconds. It's simply name, email, phone number, and like what product did they demo? That's it. That goes to your email, and then you start stacking leads. Okay. It's just a really good way for you to start getting leads without people throwing away their business card. And I always joke with them too. They're like, you have a card? I'm like, girl, I ain't going to let you throw this away. I ain't going to let you throw this away in the trash. Get out your phone. Let me get your phone. I make it so just fun and playful with them. And then you send the link. Okay. Because by the time you get that email, okay, you've got that in your mailbox. When you follow up with them and you've got their phone number, that link is still there, right? So they're going to be able to follow back up there, even if they haven't seen it. It's okay. It's still there. It's going to live in that text forever. Okay. So that's just one little thing. So make sure you write that down, do your boards, and create an inquiry page. Hold on. My dog's trying to get out of my bedroom. Go out. Okay. Sorry. All right. So that's one thing. So basically mastering follow-up. And before you can be like really good at that sale, you have to master the product. Okay. And just being able to talk about it without spilling the guts all over them. So while you're doing the face, guess what I'm telling her? Not about 7 benefits. I'm just not going to do that. I'm talking about her. I'm asking her questions. It's all about them. It's all about them. Same with this. Okay. Anybody have a scanner? This is a huge part of my business. This is how I built my business in the beginning. So same thing with the scanner. When I make a bet with them, guess what? I'll bet you that if you scan higher than me, I'll buy your first month supply. It's not going to happen. No one scans higher than me. I make sure of that before I do the event. Okay. I make sure of that. You're looking at a 85, 90,000. They're looking at a 25, 30. If they get to a B, still, they're not going to beat me. And if it ever does happen, I am totally happy to give them their first month supply. I don't care. I mean, I gained a customer. Okay. They're going to fall in love with it. I'm going to follow up with them. But when they put their hand on it, because they're going to ask what it is, what do? I don't talk about the device. I ask them questions. I talk about them. I found out what's the most exciting thing happening in their life right now? What's their pain points? Like, what are their struggles? What are they stressing out about? Oh my gosh, you scanned a D. Tom, what are we going to do about this? Right? Like, just make it friendly. So, okay. So that's something. So, and one thing that makes sales, I like to tell people this too, like sales and recruiting. I mean, they go hand in hand, right? Usually, because you're selling the business. Even when you're recruiting, you're still selling the business. But 50% of that, you guys, is conviction. This is the one thing, is conviction. So my question to you is there anything that anybody can say to you that will rock you, that will sway you? Even if you're doing a cold call. What is it? What is it that somebody can say to you that you're like, you like shrink in your place and you're like, never mind. I'm good. It's okay. We don't have to talk about it. Is that a thing for any of you guys? Or are you
That's
so
an absolutely great question. Actually, if you guys can put that in the chat, I think that's thank you so much for asking that.
Yeah. I mean, and if so, what is it? Because we all have those reservations in the beginning to talk about the business. Like, it's like, am I sure? What if they say this? What if, what am I going to say if they say that? Well, I'm so fearful because, like, if they have any objections, okay, they have objections. Are you 1000% convicted in what you're bringing to the table? Because if you're not, okay, because 50% of that is conviction. What's the other 50%? Action. It's just taking action. 50% is conviction. The other 50% is action. You're not going to know if the other 50% succeeds, that you're never going to get to that 100 if you just don't do it, if you just don't ask, right? And how are you going to get good at asking? By failing, like by asking so many wrong ways. Or, I mean, I really truly believe a lot of times that it is like, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, because they'll give you that opportunity and be like, okay, well, let's shoot it with me. Like, let's go back and forth. Like, what is it? I mean, because this happened to me before. Like, what are you trying to tell me? What really do you have? Let's sit down and talk about it. Versus like what sounds like a pitch, right? Because we've all heard, those types of things in people, and probably have gotten hit up in your DMs where it's like a message this long and you don't even know this person. And you're like, what the heck is going on? Your doctor told you not to. So is that, it's a product sale, you're saying, Leanne, right? Or I'm sorry, Leilani, is a product sale that like your doc, like the client is telling you like, well, my doctor told me not to.
Yeah, like supplement wise.
Okay. Does your doctor know that this product is in the PDR? Do you know what the PDR is? I've said that to people and they're like, no, what's that? And I'm like, that's the book that your doctor has to refer to write you drug prescriptions. This is in there. This is in that book. Isn't that crazy? Like, you won't find another supplement in that book. The PDR, that's you can't buy your way into that book. But anyway, I totally get it. I mean, if you need me to send you like the medical synopsis, or the compendium of like what I do have. I start using big words sometimes and like, dang, maybe that girl doesn't know what she's talking about. I've got a full file for you. Happy to send it. You can show if you want to look at some cancer research that may help your doctor help you make a decision. I never push the sale. It's just arming them with the information that makes you look like a badass, because guess what? You've mastered the product. So whatever it is you are pitching, I say pitching, but you know what I mean. I don't mean pitching, but like whatever that product is, just know that you have the conviction, because there's nothing that they can say. Like, even if they say, my doctor said, fine. Fine. But you just came to me saying, you've got this problem and this problem and this problem. What did your doctor do for you for those things? How long have you been seeing this doctor? How long have you been having these problems? Is the medication helping? Would you say it's helping? Do you have like a before and after? Do you take pictures of yourself? You know what I mean? Like just start digging, just dig and dig and dig and dig until they're sitting there like, oh my God. Now, but in a compassionate way, not like a know-it-all, but like just in a way where you're like, I want to give you the information. I want to help you in any way that I possibly can. Let's get this to your doctor. Let's get him the information. Why not? He's smart. If he's smart and he knows what the PDR is because he has to know that, then he might be like, huh. I mean, I signed only one, but I've done it in this way, a physician by that fact alone. I already showed her the scanner. She was just like, oh, yeah, I mean, it's cool, whatever. I'm like, well, it's a Nobel Prize winning science. But also the supplement, that you're going to be creating an income stream on, it's not going to ruin your integrity. There is $60 million of research behind it. And it's in your PDR, not your PDR, doctor. Make them take ownership. Okay. And that alone, that one fact, she was with me 6 years. She just left me last year because she closed her practice. So, just little things like that. Like, so when I talk about like mastery with sales, like tying it all together, just know, like, if you want to go out with this, you better know how to talk about it in every way possible and compare it to anything, whatever they're going to bring up, the Foreo, the Clarisonic, like the Clarisonic, that thing's dead. Guess, how it died? This came on the market. That's how it died. Do you want me to show you the article when this put this out of business? Like, I know all the things, right? Just know all the things. Have that file, put it in your phone, create a file for like Lumi Know-It-All, lash serum Know-It-All. Grant's been hustling out that lash serum, I hear, like a boss. So he's probably knows all the things that anybody's going to ask him, down to the dollar they're going to make. And, what if someone complains about XYZ? Like, you just know all the things. So it's just mastering the product knowledge. This right here. Next.
Oh my God, we got mine coming in. We got 4 coming in. I love it.
Know it, use it, know it, love it. I haven't done any demos on anyone with this yet because I'm not a master of it yet. But I think with this, it's going to be most important is like awareness and observing the customer, right? Because you can't just be like, well, it does all these things and you don't even know who you're talking to. But if I see a woman with flabby arms, I'm gonna be like, you know what I love about this? I can put this thing on my arm and in like 5 minutes, it shrinks the fat. And I know that she's standing there going, dang, I got those flabby arms, right? So like whoever you're talking to, be so aware before you start spouting off like what this thing does, right? So go ahead.
Some stuff. So everybody, I love, if you guys are taking note of her enthusiasm and her passion and her just like resilientness of doing it, right? And that comes from probably the years of succeeding and failing, I'm assuming, right? Like knowing what to say, knowing not what to say. But I love your energy. So I know a lot of us on here, I think a lot of people do online and in face-to-face, but keeping that energy that she has, I think is super important, that conviction, like she mentioned. We have a couple of questions just to throw them in here and we can jump on. You can add this to your whatever part you're doing, but where and how do you recruit most of your distributors and customers? Face-to-face, social media, and what does that look like?
Oh gosh, it looks a lot of different ways. So my first physician, I cold called, walked right into the office, didn't grab him quite the first day, but I decided that I was going to level up and I got a white coat made, had my name put on it, put some fake glasses on, put my hair up, do what it takes to look the part. Okay. I don't have a briefcase. But I'm not walking in and leaving a card behind. I can just walk in with this only. I don't walk in prepared to leave material behind because that's going to get thrown in the trash. Right. Same with the Lumi Spa. I'm not walking in with like a bag full of junk. Now that bag's in my car Because if they let me in, we're rolling it all out, right? But the thing is that I feel like the more junk you have, the more like goes through your head and confused you get, and you don't know what you're going to say. And it's like, well, do you have this? Yeah, let me, sure, I have, hold on. No, like, I don't even know. That's why another reason why the boards are so critical now. This was back in 2015 when I got my first neurologist in Vegas. I walked in and no one would let me past him or past the front gate, the gatekeepers. So I had to dress differently. They didn't even recognize me the second time I went in there. Now, and the thing is that I ended up pulling out of the office because I learned my lesson. When doctors are not, and whether you recruit doctors or not, it doesn't matter. It's the person. When they care more about money than they do the people they're serving, that's when you know you cannot do business with them. And I stayed with him for about a year, and he would never take the product. He scanned 10,000 every time I scanned him. And I'm like, what happens when your patients say, well, do you take this, doctor? Do you take this nano? And you say no. that reflects poorly on everyone on the company. Like, I don't care how much he makes me. He wanted me to be in there scanning, and that's just not how it's going to go. So you have to arm the people you're sharing the business with the knowledge as well, and be firm. Now I'm firm. Be firm with them and say, like, hey, I'm not your employee. I'm your partner. I'll teach you how to do this, this, and this, and then I'll shadow you. And you can shadow people the same way on social media, like show them how to do their posts and teach them what they're supposed to do, and then shadow them. And hey, step 1, step 2, step 3, create a system that you feel works for yourself. Because people get crazy on social media, and this whole copy paste is driving me nuts. People need to build their own brand. So in terms of recruiting for me, with the certainty of the business, if you're not certain, so in my mind, and I tell people, like, for people even on my team, I had a girl on my team that was like, well, when do I start building? And in my mind, I'm thinking, but wait a minute, you're not sure yet. You're not sure yet. So if you're not sure of the business, if you're here to just make overnight money, recruiting is not for you. That's just my opinion. Because if this isn't something long-term that you're going to like be okay with failing and trying and failing and trying and like testing, why are you thinking about other people? Like you can't even help yourself, like move the needle. So why are you wanting to recruit? So it has to come from you first, right? Like it has to start there. And then, Jen Gottlieb's got this saying, or she calls it hope, help one person every day. I call mine rope. Okay. So mine's reach outs. So that starts my recruiting process, reach out to people every day. So that's what I try to do every morning. I usually go on my walk with my dog. I'll sit in the park, and then I'll take time to reach out. Okay. And that, whether that's like, commenting on people's posts that are in my, that I don't see a lot in my feed. So connecting, engaging, and I'll share this really quick. I have this here, and I'll just share this one page here. It's a playbook that I've created, and this one page here is my funnel. So if you guys are in recruiting, whether it's sales or recruiting, you have to have a funnel. You have to be, engaged with your funnel all the time. Okay. So if you're building on social media, more power to you. If you're not doing the copy paste, hallelujah. But this method, for me, it starts with brand building. And yes, you can build a team by doing this, but if people don't know who you are and what you offer and what you bring to the table, why would they follow you anyways? Right? So like, what is your core message? How do you engage with people? When they come to your social media, what are they looking at? A bunch of selfies, cat ears, like, a shared profile with your husband or wife. That's weird. Like who they don't know who they're talking to. You know what I mean? So like, what is it that makes you, and that you can optimize on your profile, right? Because we all have that real estate on our Facebook and our Instagram. So that's where when your funnel comes in, they're not going to engage if you first don't have yourself set up properly. So for your Instagram, make sure that top line, you've got your name and you've got what you do. What are you? That is searchable. Those are keywords. Are you, physical therapist? Are you an artist? Are you a business coach? Are you a relationship coach? Are you some kind of mentor? Are you a food expert? Whatever. Like, what is it that you are that has nothing to do with Nu Skin, right? So figure that out. And then you've got, you got to have a business profile, put your email on there, the way for people to contact you. You want to have a link. You want to utilize Linktree. I can show you what mine looks like, or you can just go to my profile. Always have things that work. Number one, the worst thing is clicking on a link that says it leads to nothing. Okay. And don't just have a bunch of shop links. Have educational things, have things that people can, learn about. And I use boards. I'll happily show you how I do that. But have it go to things that they're able to learn more about who you are and expand on your personality and what you bring to the table, because that makes the top part of this funnel, the engagement part, like way easier, right? So with the engagement, that's you just simply getting to know them. This, you see at the bottom where sign up is like the very last thing. That's after we do all these steps. So get them into the engagement funnel by learning about them. Who are they? Like, what do they do? Why do you even want to talk to them? Do you even really want them in your business? Why do you want them in your business? What do you guys connect on? Where's the resonance? Where are the parallels? Know those things. Take notes on those things. Like for me, there is a tool in your Instagram DM. If you guys are on Instagram, I don't think this is an option in Facebook. I'm not a Facebook expert, but there's 3 lines in your DM at the top right. You can tap and you can actually choose lead. And I have an entire list of leads that I engage with on their posts or on their reels, whatever, every single day, or a lot of times a week. I have try to keep 25 at a time, right? So when I open up that list, there they are. And I'll show you exactly what they look like. And those people are the ones that I'm going to pay attention to. See how it says lead? See that? Lead, 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 lead. Okay, those I have marked. Now, if you keep scrolling, there's a couple.
Can you show those again?
Yeah.
Please. Thanks.
Okay, see where it has lead under each name?
Yes.
All right, so in here, see where this has. So what I do with that, and there's a couple on here. Wait, what did I do? Okay, so here, see where that says ordered.
Yeah, how do you make those? That's great.
Okay, so top right in your DMs, there's 3 dots.
Yeah.
And then you can select, and you have tools there. When you start talking to someone, there is a tag. When you're in the actual DM with them face to face, I say face to face, DM to DM, the top right, there's a tag. It looks like a shopping tag, like a price tag. Tap that, and you're going to be able to mark them as a lead, or if they booked a call with you, or if they ordered something, if they paid you, right? So all those options are there. And then when you go out of the DM and you're seeing everyone at once, the entire group, you can tap the top dots and you can select, and I select them and move them into one section. Okay. So that they don't get mixed in with all my others. So when I move them to general. So when I move them there, I can see all of them, who's ordered, who's not, who's booked a call, who's a lead, right? So that's just a system of engagement that I have. So that's just a little tip. In Facebook, I'm not really sure how you can do all that in Messenger. I don't really hang out in Messenger much. However, what you can do in Facebook is go to your friends and just scroll and grab a few. You can start at the top and maybe do 10 or 20 a day and just go and engage, because that's going to put them in your algorithm at the very least. So when you post, they'll start seeing your stuff. So, and then for me, the next step of that is educating. Now you can do this in your highlights. You can do it with boards. I do it with boards all the time. You guys, I use boards for everything. I make pages. They look like websites. I send them information. When they ask me, Like, what do I need to know about this product? When we've been talking a ton about New Biome this week, and they asked me like, well, what does it do? Is it like, how does it work with the prebiotic, or how is it different? You know, I'm like, I got you. I don't have time for this like long conversation. Okay. I want to minimize my time like that with them, because I'm putting the responsibility on them for the sale, not me. Because the more I talk, the more I lose. Okay. So I am putting the responsibility on them by sending them the link to the board, and they're going to scroll and they're going to learn. They'll watch a 2-minute video, 30-second video. I put Anjanelle's 60-second educational videos on there. And then they have an option to purchase right there on the board, or they can text me for more information, whatever they want to do. So that's an educational component of that. It's also an invite, but it's not inviting them into the business. It's just inviting them to try a product, learn about it, be a customer if they want to, because the nurture part, it nurture is so far at the bottom, but it really should be the biggest, because there's so much time that can pass. And it's so different for everyone. There are people that can just sign up customers left and right. And I've done that. I've been in those spurts. And then there are people that have taken 8 months to buy from me. And now she's one of my higher paying customers every single month for the last 5 years. But that nurturing part is loving them through all of their questions, like being there without being pushy, and saying, well, I mean, okay, fine, I'll just give you a discount, just buy it. Like, no, like, hold the value of the product, maintain that product has integrity, and it absolutely should be paid for at full price. Right. But like, in addition to that, it's not just about the product. You're nurturing them with everything, how their day is going. What are the things I always ask people, what is the most exciting thing that's happening in their life right now? Make them tell you about the good things, not the crappy things, the good things. Make them smile. So when they think about you, they think about how you're making them talk great about themselves, how you're talking to them, having that two-way conversation about positive things, right? Not like, oh yeah, I'm just having the worst gut pain and I'm constipated and everything I do, it just seems like none of my pants fit and nothing works and this sucks and I'm just tired all the time. Like, don't let them associate you with all their problems. Okay. Yes, you want to solve their problem. You want to have sympathy for their problem, but like, make them feel like you're there to hear everything amazing about who they are, not just their woes. Okay. So that's a tip. And then when you sign them, I mean, for recruiting, for me, it's like, and I've been doing this with a video lately, and it just converted the other night, and I'm so super excited about it. But I present the opportunity in the way of a video. It's 8 minutes long, and it gives all the information that I feel that they need. And for them, if it's not if it's a no, it's just no, I just continue to nurture. So with the sign up, it's either going to be, for me, it's a customer first usually, unless I'm cold calling, which I love to do. But for Instagram, I nurture all those leads, and then I send them the board. And the board, you guys, I'm telling you, since July, when I started using them, the first one I did was a LumiSpa, and I did 17. I sold 17 LumiSpas from July 1st to July 17th. I sold one a day, and that was my goal. And then I fell off and sucked the rest of the month with LumiSpa. I don't know what I was doing. But I was very proud to sell 17, one a day. I was like on a roll, and it was the board. And you can do this if even offline, do the board. When you cold call, like I'm cold calling med spas right now, estheticians. I landed one a few months back with that board. I walked in, I didn't even have the device. I said, I just walked past your place. I wasn't meaning on coming in, but I saw that you're a med spa, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go in and tell this girl about this amazing device that I have that can help her generate income in her business. And she's like, well, where is it? What is it? And I was like, I don't have it, but I have this board. I'm going to send it to you, and you can watch this 3-minute video. She watched it. She bought $1,200 for the stuff, just like that. Like we hit.
Let's see this board.
Yeah, I know, right? Do we want to see it?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, so I will share the link to it in the chat, and you guys can watch it on your time. Okay.
Yeah.
let's see. No, stop share. Okay. So that being said, I've done that with a lot of products and I really encourage that. And some people are too lazy to do them. They don't want to do them. So they just, they get them from me. They just buy them from me. I've been selling them. Because I'd rather just teach people like, hey, empower yourself to do the things. Like I get it. But a lot of physicians, like they're like, I'm not doing that. So, that's okay. Let me see if I have any questions. Okay. PDR. Okay. So you guys get the funnel, right? How that works. And if it's offline, same thing, like you're doing the same format that you do online, right? But the boards is just like the power tool. So for me with recruiting, it's honestly lately just been sharing the board and just saying like, look, like even if it's like for this, for instance, I'll just share with you one real incident that happened that I did. So how this works, Dr. Drexler, I'll pull his text up. So if you guys are driving by a place and you're like, oh my gosh, I think you've been doing this, Grant, right? Aren't you going into like salons and stuff? Or are you just popping in cold calling?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So what are the words that you throw out about the lash serum?
Ooh, good question. So let's see. I haven't walked in for a week, but let's see. So when I typically walk in, I do my best to find out if they carry lashes, what they do with lashes, anything about lashes. So I want to make sure that I usually go see like estheticians or cosmetologists or lash artists, and I'll come in as an educator. I'll say, hey, I'm just curious, you guys sell any lash serums or do you do anything with serums? And the person up front always is like, yes or no, or whatever they say. And I say, oh, actually, I work with a brand called New Color Lash and Brow. I do trainings and education about the harmful effects of prostaglandins and the benefits of using plants. And everyone's like, what? And I was like, yeah, who do I talk to about doing a training here? And they go, oh, the owner is Reina, and you have to go talk to Reina. And I said, oh, okay, when can I talk to her, or how can I set an appointment to talk about a future training? And I come in more as the training educator side, and that has been working really well. So that's just my kind of get in.
Yeah, that's so perfect how you frame that as the educator. And that's the same. I mean, just like you're doing with the funnel, the top is engaged. You do that by walking in. Hey, here I am. Look at me. I got something for you. And then you're educating. That's the second step. Right. And then, for those that have the physical item, I demo, and there's so much, I had a whole campaign years ago when I first started, it was do the demo, just hashtag do the demo, do the demo, do the demo. Like if you're not doing it, you can't get good at it. And if you don't get good at it, you're not going to sell it. So you may as well just do it and talk about it. I know it's different with like with the serum, it's just like, that's really simple. But for this guy, I drove past his clinic. Okay. I went to get a chiropractic adjustment and I walked out and it's always closed. And I'm like, what is up with this place? Like, is this even in business? So I called the number, Dr. Drexler. He answers the phone, shocked that he answered the phone and that the number on the window was actually his cell. And so I'm like, hi, Dr. Drexler. I'm like, my name's Megs. I actually just walked by your office. And he interrupted me and he said, oh, I'm sorry, I'm closed. I can't take any appointments. I said, no problem. You know what? I'm actually not looking for an appointment. I'm looking to help you with something. And I don't know if you know about a certain device I'm going to share with you for a couple of minutes. If you'll give me 2 minutes of your time. I said, I'm an integration. I call myself a device or a technology integration specialist because they don't know what that is. That could be lasers, right? It could be anything. So, and if it's a wellness person, if it's a physician, I'm a wellness technology integration specialist. With him, I was a beauty technology integration specialist. And so his first words were, oh my gosh, I do not have $300,000 to invest in any kind of equipment. And I said, sir, I don't even have access to a $300,000 piece of equipment, but I do have access to the world's number one beauty device and the world's number one beauty device. And it can create a really generous income stream for you, but I got to show it to you in person. And he said, okay, well, then he starts talking and talking and talking. And I learned that he was disabled, and that's why his practice is closed a lot. And he has all these expenses. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, oh my God, wow. Like there's his pain. Money is the pain. That's why we let them talk first, right? We just let them spill their guts. And so I said, you know what? I mean, he was so nice. And he kept saying to me, thank you for not interrupting me. He kept saying that. And I said, I'm sorry that you keep having to say that. I'm assuming this is always your experience. And he said, everyone that calls me to sell me something, I tell them that I'm disabled, and as soon as I start talking about that, like, well, this is why you need this then. And they just start interrupting him. And so I'll never forget that call, because it just reinforced, what I need to do all the time is just listen, listen, listen. Don't ever interrupt. No matter how long the phone call takes, you're there to be a servant. You're there. Yes, we want to get the sale, but we also don't even know if he's a good fit, right? I mean, if his practice is only open one day a week and he sees 5 clients a day, 5 clients a week, okay, 20 clients a month, and this is all they buy, I'm really not going to make him a lot of money. I mean, we can talk about other things, and I can tell them it's going to be a slow process, but it's not going to be like, thousands of dollars out of the gate. And I want to be honest with them up front. So this is what happened. And this is how I use the boards. So I said, listen, I'm going to send you a text when we hang up. Is that okay? Ask permission. Always ask permission. Anything that you're about to do and that you want to do that's going to push the sale forward, ask permission first, especially if it's a physician, because of their ego and they need to be able to tell you what to do. So you have to ask, and that's okay. So I said, I'm going to send you a text and I'm going to outline everything I'm going to send you. And then I'm just going to, pop a video in the chat. And he said, I'll get back to you in about 3 weeks. I said, okay. No problem. I said, do you mind if I put a reminder in my calendar to call you in 3 weeks? Yeah, sure. No problem. So this is what I said. Good evening, Dr. Drexler. I appreciate you taking my call today and giving me the time to share. As I said, what is unique about how I partner with medical professionals integrating various tech that allows them the ability to give access to hundreds of products to patients without large investments, overhead, or monthly fees? There are professionals of all disciplines including pharmacists. He told me his wife was a pharmacist, so I had to include that, right? Even pharmacists that do this with me all over the country. My personal background in science and nutrition, and this has been my full-time business for a decade. I will drop 2 things here for you. Number 1, a short video page about the facial device we spoke of, the LumiSpa, and a preview of a body device coming this year that we also spoke of. Number 2, a highlight reel recap of our Q1 medical symposium that I would love to invite you to next quarter. Looking forward to your opinion and your follow-up at your leisure. Always put that at the end, at your leisure. That means the ball's in their court. It's their responsibility. And then I send the board and the video of the medical symposium, which I created a really cool reel about. Okay. So it highlights the company, how beautiful it is, all the scientists, people in white coats. Like, we're putting out there the caliber of what we have, right, in a video. So when he watches this, right, this is what happened. I'm going to call you back in 3 weeks. Okay. This dude messaged me in 30 minutes. How can me and my wife get one of these? And what's the cost? Right. So it's the outline of how you speak to them. You have to have that, like how you're talking to obviously a random guy you met on the flight. A little bit different maybe, because you're probably shooting the shit with them for 2 hours. But I only had a certain amount of time on that phone call. So my goal is to get as much information from him as possible about who they are. So when I do text him, it can feel very familiar and friendly and warm and professional all at one time. So anyways, that's how I cold call, just FYI. I encourage people to do it all the time, just because it's a test. And people are like, well, oh my gosh, I don't know what to say. And what are they going to think? And I'm like, why are you worried about what strangers are going to think of you? Who cares if a stranger says no, right? Those are the best people to practice on, you guys. Seriously. So challenge yourself, really. Like next week, what product do you really know? And doesn't matter what they say that can come at you. Go in and just try it out. Go in and say, hey, I'm a beauty device educator. I've got this thing in my hand and I am so ready. Who wants to get a demo today? I just got it and I've been using it. I'm so obsessed with it and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. I was driving by and I had a appointment down the street. I'm like, hey, why not pop in here? Like, just be so casual and chill about it and have that attitude that like, I'm not here to sell you. You need me. And if you say no, no problem. You guys have a good day. Oh, I love those shoes, girl. Walk out saying compliments, right? Just walk out dishing compliments. That's just what I mean, that's just what I do. Because the reality is there are enough people that will do this with you. So it doesn't matter who says no. It doesn't matter if you feel like an idiot, right? Because all you're going to do is take a little note and say, all right, I don't say that next time. Maybe I'll say this instead of that. Right. But if you come in with compliments, it really does make the conversation so much easier and not so, like, hi, is the owner here? Who's the owner? Can I talk to the owner? Yeah, what can I help you with? Well, I just want to share a technology. Do you guys sell beauty devices here? You know how, see that energy? It's just like, what's wrong with this girl? Like, she's clearly not confident about what she's talking about. You know what I mean? So anyways, I'm going to stop there for a moment, see if anybody has any questions. And if there's anything offline or online that's like plaguing you right now that you're like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing with this, or this sucks, or I did this the other day and this is what happened. Can you help me like figure it out or navigate it differently? Oh my gosh, have we been talking an hour?
It's perfect. You're doing great. I'm just letting you go because everything you said is such golden nuggets. Like I got good notes here and that.
Oh my gosh. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to talk for an hour?
You're doing perfect. No worries. People can jump in and out. They know the game.
Yeah.
I think Reina has a couple questions. Is actually so Reina, if you have a couple questions about social media or any Instagram, because I talk a lot about Facebook personally, so I do a lot more at Facebook, and I don't play on Instagram anywhere near. And I definitely copy and paste your stuff. I cheat hardcore, and I'm like, she has such. I'm not even gonna lie. I will not. I was like, I'm just gonna take these are great. Like I'm gonna screenshot these.
I don't care.
Well, what I try to do is I try to like see like what you're because you're very like have an attractive presence online. Like it's very like, wow, what is Meg doing today? Like, wow, look at her dog. It's like, oh, she's over here. Oh, she's over there.
See, and
Like,
Grant, I'm so glad you said that because I don't feel that. And I know everyone has this thought, okay? Even myself. Every day, you guys, my life is pretty mundane. I mean, I literally go on the same walk every morning. My dog is in my stories all the time. I eat healthy food. Everyone's going to get that from me. I might do a something, and inflict my sarcasm sometimes upon everyone, and I don't really do much of anything. But people say what you just said, and I'm going, oh my God, if everyone knew that about themselves. It's true. It doesn't matter how exciting or not exciting you think that you are, just do it anyways.
yeah, I love that. Yeah, and so I guess so. I'll kind of wait for some questions for online. So if whoever has questions, just chime in, unmute yourself, or jump in. How do you like using social media or even face to face, or so? What are you doing more of now? Like, where is your bread and butter coming from? Like right now in like sales in person, making those cold calls, walking in, or using your Instagram to recruit people and sell online? Like, where's that?
Oh gosh, I think it's split between mostly like Instagram stories. Just because I show up constantly, and most of the people that watch, I pay really close attention to everyone that watches. And so if you guys are doing Facebook stories or you're doing Facebook posts, whatever, if you're not really focusing on who is seeing you every day, because people are like, well, I don't get a lot of views. Okay, well, if you are getting 30 views per story, and if you equate that to like being on stage, or look, I'm here on a Zoom with 28 people or whatever. Like, you are viewers. Those are viewers. Stop trying to worry about getting so many more viewers when you're not even focused on the ones that you have because you don't think it's enough, right? So like literally go every day and see who's watching. And a lot of times it's going to be the same people over and over and over. And whoever's in the top 10, those are the most that watch. They're probably seeing your circle at the top, like every single day. So what should you be doing? Going and engaging. So a lot of my time is spent yes, engaging. And people say, well, oh gosh, I've been talking to this person for so long and like they never order anything. And I'm like, okay, but please share the conversation with me. I will dissect what's happening here. Because yes, we eventually want them to order, but like that's not the focus, like right out of the gate. It can't be. You might align yourself with someone that's like, oh my gosh, I just got a new follower and she's an esthetician. This is amazing. Great. Well, we're not going to pitch your day one. We're not going to like, you have to spend that time. If you're going to focus on a platform, spend the time building relationships. But you can't just be a watcher. You can't just be a stalker, right? You have to put up some content. And that's where I talk about like making sure that your bio is like really optimized so that when people do go and see you, they know that you're somebody. I mean, I did an experiment that lasted way too long where I came from Snapchat. I made tons of, gotten tons of customers from that app, like 2014, 15, 16, and like 2.5 years or something. I got my first speaking gig from it, multiple after that. And I was just like, and that was an app that had no discoverability. I had to really work at it every day to like get people to engage with me, go back and forth, and people to find me. Posted my code all over the place. I had a hoodie with it on the back, like literally walking through an airport, you can see people like, like getting my snap code. I did whatever it took to like get people engaged with me. When I sent out toothpastes, it had the code, a sticker of my code on the back. So whenever they ran out of toothpaste, all they had to do was take their phone and take the toothpaste and scan it, and it went to my store. So think about like the little things like that, little hacks, because I traveled all the time. So if you're on a plane, like what are you doing to get people to like, leave with something? So anyways, with social media, with Instagram, mostly, I would say that, optimizing your bio, making sure that, you have exactly a great photo. It's you, no one else, not you and your animal. That's for the profile, right? You have your highlights. Your highlights are education. I would use those as education. They're also like great reference points for when you're tired of talking about the same thing, because our stories are only 24 hours, right? Same with Facebook. So what are you doing to lead people back to something that you can create one time and just continue to optimize it over and over and over? You can create, or Facebook or Instagram allows you to create a link for each circle, for each highlight. Get some nice highlight covers. When people go to your highlights, it's not just a bunch of random things. It's like they're all, copacetic, and you are able to create links to lead to those highlights, and you can put those links in your story. So if you're talking about a vitamin C cleanser and you've got a demo that you've done where you show the water, the iodine demo, if you've never done that, you need to do it, because I still sell vitamin C cleansers from a demo I did in 2015, literally. You want to use that same thing, because who wants to do that demo all the time? Just do it one time, record it really good, do it really good, put it in a highlight. And then when we have, if you want to talk about it on your story, that's going to die in 24 hours, refer people to the highlight, refer them to the highlight, and they'll just have, the link is on there, right? They're not having to leave stories to go to the highlight. The link is on there. You're taking them there. And that link works better than leading them outside of Instagram, because Instagram as an app wants them to stay in the app. So those links will work, and they will convert. So that's something. And then Linktree I do use, and Grant, this converted the other day for me. I have my opportunity video with the password. It's password protected, just because the reason I do that is because the person that has asked me for the password, I know that's a lead, and then I can follow up with them, right? If like a bunch of random people watch it, how am I going to find them? Okay. So I have a board that's an opportunity board, and that video is there, but they have to text me for a password. So I got it text the other night, 3:00 in the morning. What's the password of the video? I'm like, what is this number? It was a 10-digit, 12-digit, whatever. It was like Australia. I had been engaging with an Australian girl for like 3 weeks, back and forth, just like random. And she stalked me. I did not send her an opportunity video. I did not send her any of that. She went to my Instagram, she clicked on my Linktree and clicked on it herself and found it and watched it. And she texted me and said, I am very keen on signing up. So create things that convert now, like whatever you have now that works for you. If you have an opportunity video that works for you now, go ahead and optimize that into a board, put it on your link tree. If you don't have a link tree, get it. It's like $10 a month. Make it nice. Go look at mine on Instagram, see how I have it set up. I have different boards. You can click on the boards there. You can see them. And that's just a way for you to be able to reference who's watching. I get signups. I got 2 signups yesterday. I don't even know where they came from, but it had to have been my Instagram because my sign up link is on my Instagram. So my biggest conversions right now are with boards. That's what's working for me the most. And when you get a new person and they're like, oh my gosh, how do I talk about this product? You're doing a dramatic effects post. I've never even ordered that yet. I don't have my own photos. It's okay. I have a board for that. Here's the board. When they say, I don't know what this product is, or what does it do? Or do you have any pictures? Sure. Here they are. Everything. It's one link, right? I do it for everything. So that's how I optimize sales. That's how I optimize sharing product. That's how I keep myself out of a DM all day doing this and answering all these questions, because we ain't got time for that. So if you, whatever system you have and recruiting video you have and sales video you have, and your story, your own personal story video that you have, that should be on your boards. And then with Instagram, and you know how Facebook, you can pin a post now. So Grant, you said you spend all your time on Facebook. Well, your pinned post, talk about who you are, right? Start here in really big letters at the very bottom, pin it at the top. So when anybody comes to your Facebook, that's what they look at. They're like, oh, what's this? Here's this guy, Grant. What does he do? And you're sharing all the things that you want your ideal client to know about you, whether it's your gardening or the homesteading, whatever, your green juice, whatever it is that you do that you love, but also talk about how you're creating, a business from social media and how you're able to do this and that. And what are the things that you think people were like, man, I want to do that too. That sounds amazing. I like this guy. I resonate with him. Make it 3 minutes and then say comment, create a comment, a trigger word. If you want to know more, comment, opportunity, comment, yes, comment, whatever. If you want more information below, and just pin that at the top and then let the comments flow, So how often do you sell your service on stories? How often do you offer or sell? Oh gosh, I sell on stories all the time. Is that what you're asking? How often do I sell on stories? Raina?
Sorry. There's the neighbor dogs. Yes. So I was wondering, because I do really love your stories. They're always very, very very engaging. And I do see that sometimes you'll put your products that sells, or you have a link that lead your customer to where they need to look. So is there a set time where okay, I'm gonna do it today, or I'm going just whenever you feel like doing it?
For me, a lot of my creation, and I'm wired this way from Snapchat. So Snapchat, we were forced to create in the moment. We couldn't save anything to a camera roll and pull it up. It had to be on the fly. So I got really good at on the fly creation. So in my mind, in something that's hard for me, that I get in trouble a lot about from my best friend, who's also kind of my business coach, is why aren't you batching your content? Why aren't you doing all these, all this content so you can just post? It's really hard for me. And I think it's just something that it has to, whatever feels good for you. I don't try to tell people okay, you need to post at this time, like people do about Facebook. They're you need to post at this time, and this is when you get the most watch it. And I'm like, how do you know? You don't know when people engage with me. You, Raina, know when people engage with you. And then you can go into your settings. If you have a business page, you can go into your professional dashboard and you can see what posts get the most engagement, and who's mostly watching your stories, what percentage of men versus women, where are they located in the world, right? So look at your analytics. It's not so important, but it helps, little things you get the most views on certain things. I'll screenshot what things get the most views, and I have a folder for that, I call it my engagement folder. And then I know hey, when I'm doing my nighttime routine, I get more people 10 o'clock watching my stories, or 11 o'clock at night, than I do in the morning. So what is going to work? Probably doing my Lumi spot at night on the thing, not every night, but You know, I do have a friend, and you guys should follow her. Her name's Stephanie Kogler. She's kind of like my cousin in Nu Skin. It's STEF, Stephanie. She's a team elite in the business, and there is not a day that that girl does not do squats with a band around her knees, squatting in her mirror, doing her Lumi Spa every day. So I'm not even that consistent. I'm not even that good at that. But what I'm saying is that there's something that's like easy for you because you're going to do it anyway. If you're going to do your Lumi Spa every day anyway, why not do it? And then just talk about something else that has nothing to do with the Lumi Spa. You know, you're not talking about this. Sometimes I'll do. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, by the way, you guys, this is going to be on sale this month later. I'll let you know the date. I don't even know right now, but like just putting it out there. And then maybe you could put a poll on there that says like, let me know, yes or no, you know, or collect an email address, you know, VIP first to know, put your email, drop your email. That is just whether anyone does it or not, it doesn't matter. No one knows that no one does it. If two people do it, you got two email addresses, and that just starts your list, right? So if you want to find something, you know, that is easy for you, where you don't feel forced. I don't think you should ever feel forced. Like, oh God, I forgot to do a product story today or this week. And who cares? But stories is for selling. It totally is, way more than the posts, you know, way more than on your Facebook feed. If you go look at my Facebook, you're not going to see product after product after, it's just not happening. I don't do it. But in stories, yes, absolutely. That's what it's for. Everyone sells in stories. I mean, it's 24 hours anyway. Like the same people that are watching you on Tuesday are probably not going to be the same. It's going to be different ones on Wednesdays, it's going to be different ones on Thursday. Like, so why not talk about the same stuff over and over and over and over? Because eventually, right, you have to see something and talk about something or say no to something 7 times before you probably say yes to it, right? So it doesn't matter if you're like, well, I already talked about that this week. So what? Like, just don't apologize for that, because the right people are gonna, you know, like gravitate toward you. But I would set up boards to lead people to an educational place, you know? So like when you're going into, Grant, when you're going into those salons, has anyone ever told you no? Like, no, we don't want to do we don't want to.
Yeah, I've definitely get told no. And I do have a board for that specific product.
Okay, so you do leave it behind.
Yeah, I do. Well, actually, I have pretty good material in person because Alan likes print. So I have print material, but I also do have a lot of digital. Because I'll just ask them. I'll say, hey, is print something that you like, or is digital is more something you like? And I've had people tell me like, don't send me anything digitally. I need physical. And I go, oh, here you go. I'll hand it to them. Or they'll say, actually, I don't need any more paper. Text me. Here's my number, or give me something digital. So I usually wait till I'm asked for that tool, then I'll create the tool. So that they're like, yeah.
So another thing you could do is you can create a really cool, like I don't know where any of mine are right now, but I have these really cool, like a cool photo of me with both Lumis. I have a blue and a pink. And it's a QR code that leads to the board. So you are leaving the handheld behind because they like the print, but make it pretty, like make it like cardstock glossy so they don't throw it away. But like you invest in that part, but the real like badass information is on the page in the board. So they have to scan it regardless. And then it just pops up and they're like, oh, this is awesome. Like, you know, you've got the cool like lash video, or I mean, I have a great lash board also. I love the lash board, but yeah, that's what I would do. Like, be like, hey, I got you covered both ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can do those free in Canva. You can just make a free QR code in Canva.
Yeah, that's true. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Anybody have any more questions before we let her go on with her evening? Oh, just in case. If you guys have any questions, now is the time to speak up.
I'll put my Instagram in here so you guys can try to do a bio optimization. That's really important. Even if you don't use Instagram a lot, you guys just do the bio anyways. Because people need to like know who they're talking to, you know, and get your highlights set up.
That's a good idea. So you can do links on the highlights as well, which is great. And the link goes to your board's page where it tells
Yes, you can do, well, I do links, more attractive links or more in a more attractive way on my link tree.
Hmm.
So my link tree, um, my link tree look my link tree looks like this. So there's multiple links here, right? So it's just a video of the ocean, like that I took behind it. And then these are boards. And so I'll show you I call them peep pages, like sneak peek. So a peek page. And at the bottom, I have business preview in 8 minutes. Okay, meet the number one skincare solution. I call the Lumi Spa the number one skincare solution because no one's going to know what a Lumi Spa is if you say meet the Lumi Spa. So it's just a video that I made. That's and then I just use this as like a website style.
Hmm.
So there's all the information about the cleansers and like what the ingredients are. And then I have my the media all over the media video. And then I made a strawberry video that shows how well it detoxes pores. And then I've made a little cart. Okay, ready for my glow up. That's how they shop. This is just a random video I took whenever it arrived, when I finally got the rose gold. And then I give them an opportunity to download Vera, because if they don't buy Lumi Spa, at the very least, they can do a free skin consultation here. And then the app is going to recommend products to be sold to them anyways without you doing anything.
That's awesome.
Anyone experienced that yet? Because it's pretty awesome.
For sure. And then how do
Yeah.
you get them? Like if you like, say for an example, if I click on that, oh, where am I going? If I click on that, hold on a second here. If I click on that, a Vera app, it just takes me to Vera, but it doesn't give me your Vera, right? Like, so
No, it does.
Oh, it does now.
Well, you get the link out of Stella.
Got it.
So you'll go to Stella and you'll go to more at the bottom, and then it'll say Vera invite. That's your link. Now I do put my ID number in there just in case they screw it up somehow and come back to it and don't, whatever. But usually, the cookies are going to kick in, and it'll recall the link, but it is your link.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's awesome. I'll definitely add that. And so, yeah, it looks like people are interested in your board templates and also to,
how often do you see board? Oh, is there board templates? I mean, I can just share them with you, but I don't give them away just because I've spent over 100 hours making them. But I mean, it's just a package deal. Like I do have boards. I don't really share that a lot with people, but I've had so many people beg me for them that I finally was just like, fine, here's a package, you can have them. I do edit them for you. I do you can send me photos, your link to your store. I show you how to edit them as well. They're valuable right now. I think there's probably 17 or 18 different ones that you get. Plus I teach you how to do the inquiry boards. It's pretty involved. And for what they've done for me in terms of sales, I mean, I don't go a day without them now. They're amazing. I get on calls with the founder like once every couple weeks, and we toss around ideas. And he got his hands on one of my boards and was like, "Whose is this? Like, we need."
Tell Ori Grant said hi when you talk to him.
Ori, he's in Israel. It's kind of hard to talk to him.
He's in Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
But,
so, for example, if people want to purchase the board template from you, what's the best way for them to contact you? Or
you can just DM me on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where most people, because most people see them there and they're like, "Oh my God, how do you can you make me this?" And I'm like, not for free. I'm not going to sit around and make boards all day, but I make them for my team, and then I've made them for physicians, because they just, how I've taught them is that when they have a patient, that because they're selling devices and they're selling the scanner, the fees, and the LifePak Nano in there, and if that patient is a no for that day, they get a board. And that's a follow-up with the doctor, because they also don't want to print a bunch of things and give them to the patient for them to go home and throw it away. So the doctor is totally open to being like, yes, I will give every patient a board link before they walk out of my office. And that board is everything. It helps to rebook their next eye appointment, book their next scan, their rescan, like everything you can do on there. You can do anything on there. Book, link it to your Calendly, book a call with me to talk about the business, whatever you want. And you customize it to what's suitable for you and your business and what you do. So.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Right on. Okay. So I think we're going to let you go because we're just
okay, guys.
One more question, please. Sorry.
Okay.
About
No,
the
okay.
board. About the board, I'm trying to understand where in your process it's used. Is it on the front end? So when you mentioned Instagram, so when I go there, you actually see the board, or is it all back end? Like you have a link and it's pulling from your board?
So if you go to my link tree and you are to see, like
is
if you're
Linktree another app?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So Linktree, if you go to linktree.com, Linktree is like $10 a month. And I've always used it because Instagram limits how many links you're able to share. So Linktree is it's basically a bridge page between all your other cool things and Instagram. So I would like to take pictures of it and highlight it. I'll put it on my story, or I'll link it on there. I always find a way to allow people to access it easily instead of just saying on my story, like, check out my link tree. Like just like you said, what's a link tree? Not everybody knows what that is. So you have to make it really dummy proof. Everything that you're doing, you have to, it's popping up on my screen. You have to, people need to be told exactly what to press, exactly what to click, exactly where to go. So you just have to get in the habit of doing that. But for Linktree, if I'm sharing something in my story and it's like, say now the Lumi Spa is on sale this month. And then I'm like a photo and I'm like, do you know what this is? Or, I make it all kind of engaging and silly, but basically the devices have personalities in my stories. I make them come to life and they have personalities and they talk and they have thoughts. Okay. And so it's engaging that way. So I find a way to be silly with my products, so I don't always sound so salesy. And then I put the link to my link tree so they can see everything, or I can put a link just to the board, whatever's most comfortable for you. If I'm like, do you know what this is? No, show me. Click here, learn what I am. Let me introduce myself. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Lumi. And this is what I am. And I can take them directly to that board. But that also lives here because somebody, just like I said the other day, stalks me. And they go here and they're like, social CEO business preview in 8 minutes. Click. And it says password. Now it's like, oh, this is exclusive. Like, how do I get a password? And that it leads them, it's like little breadcrumbs that lead them to where you want them to go. So I encourage Linktree because it's cheap, and it really, if you want to start really driving traffic to certain places, then that it's a good thing. If you don't have anything to lead anyone to right now and you just have one link, Instagram will let you have that one link. It's totally fine.
And is that free on Instagram? Is that free? I'm assuming that now it's like a business account on Instagram, right?
Yes, ma'am. It's free. You can have a business account. I have a creator account. You can do a creator account, a business account. It just gives you a little bit more perks, and you get to see more analytics and understand like what's working, where your views come from, how your posts perform. If you do reels, things like that, like where your highs and lows show up on social media. It's for people who genuinely want to understand better what is working and what's not working.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. This is very, very, very informative. I'm asking questions because we're under Terry Tu's team, and they implemented.
I love Terry.
Yeah, she's awesome. They implemented a system that it's an Office Pro automation system that automates the whole recruiting process. So I'm just like listening to you and trying to determine like the better route to go, something that is, because it's so many different systems out there.
There are, and Terry probably has. I mean, look, we're talking about Terry too. Okay. She is incredible. And I met her out in Vegas several times. But she probably doesn't even remember me. But whatever system, if you know that that's working, then roll with it.
I
It's
haven't
really-
used it yet. It's and it's also
okay.
comes with a subscription. It's like $20 a month. So that's why I was
Gotcha.
asking. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, mine is just simply, it's not, it's basically just like sharing information, a way to share information so that people can have more access to things. So I don't feel like people are missing out, or that like I'm not giving them everything that they need. And it allows me to save time. But if that system is also allowing you, whatever she has, to build your email list, you absolutely want that too, because I do that as well. I don't go into all that with my team because it's very techy, and most people are like, oh my God, you're like, no, I have a headache. I get it. Like a lot of it can be, and that's why I share boards so much with my team, because like it's so much more just simple. And when people fill something out, it goes directly to your email. You can track it. You can create one email address for that one thing. So like that every email you get is dedicated to that thing. I encourage that, but like boards is just easier than someone trying to understand like really how the funnel works and how to collect the email and how to do follow-up emails and trigger words and things like that. Like it gets really techy. I love to learn it. I love to do it, but it's just Nu Skin honestly should figure out how to implement something on its own, but that's another conversation.
Okay, so then last question, how do you for the password presentation, is that through boards you also use?
So the password, I store the video on Vimeo.
Got it.
Vimeo is a free, I think I paid for the pro, but it's like a free video system. You can load everything on there. I prefer it over YouTube, just because it like keeps everything really contained. And every video has its own link, and you can turn on password settings for each video. And so I load that link into boards, and then I put my text under there that says, or a button that says, text this number for video password.
Perfect.
I'll show it to you.
Cool. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, amazing, everybody. Wow, what a great one. So thank you guys so much for coming on. Megs, thank you tremendously for coming to join us. I think that was some really great information everyone can use.
I hope so. I hope so, guys.
Thank you. Grant, thank you for inviting this lady. She is a superstar.
She absolutely is. And so just so everybody's aware, remember we have Friday for products. And then also too, we have Alan on Monday. So we'll see you guys there. Aloha and make it a great day.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Thank you. Have a fabulous
Thank
evening,
you.
guys.
Mahalo, Megan.